Hi everyone, welcome back to DGMZ, Diwan-e-Ghalib, Meri Zubani. To all our returning viewers, we are very happy you could join us again. And to the new viewers, we are delighted you discovered the podcast and decided to tune in for the first time. Now, if you were with me in the previous episode, you know that last time we started a new Ghazal from Diwan-e-Ghalib, Ghazal 28. Gilaa hai Shauq ko, Dil mein bhi Tangii-e-Jaa. Now, today we are going to pick up the second couplet from this Ghazal. As always, I'm going to read the couplet first, then we will get into an approximate translation, keywords and concepts, and finally the DGMZ impression of the Ghazal. So this is how it goes. ये जानता हूँ कि तू और पासुख-ए-मकतूब, ये जानता हूँ कि तू और पासुख-ए-मकतूब, मगर सितम-ज़दा हूँ ज़ौक़-ए-खामा-फ़रसा का. Let's do a quick translation. Quick approximate translation. First line. ये जानता हूँ कि तू और पासुख-ए-मकतूब. I know that you and an answer to my letter. You and a response to my letter. Second line. मगर सितम-ज़दा हूँ ज़ौक़-ए-खामा-फ़रसा का. But I am oppressed by the taste of the wearing away of the pen. So that is the approximate translation. Let's start picking the keywords. First line, Paasukh. Paasukh is a reply or response or an answer to something. It can be a question, it can be a letter, it can be a message. Moving on to Maktoob. Maktoob is actually a letter or a message. इस पे जॉन इलिया का ये शेर. ना लिखा उसने कोई भी मकतूब, ना लिखा उसने कोई भी मकतूब, फिर भी हमने जवाब ही लिखा. So the approximate translation is, though she never wrote a letter, I at my end always wrote a response to her. मिर्ज़ा गालिब का ये शेर. खुलेगा किस तरह मज़मूम मेरे मकतूब का या रब, कसम खाई है उस काफिर ने कागज के जलाने की. The approximate translation is, how will the essence or the theme of my letter get revealed to her, O Lord? After all, that infidel, by extension beloved, has taken a vow of burning the pages of my letter, of burning the paper of my letter. And then रफ़ीक सांदेलवी का ये शेर. तहरीर का ये आखिरी रिश्ता भी गया टूट, तहरीर का ये आखिरी रिश्ता भी गया टूट, तन्हा हूँ मैं कितना तेरे मकतूब जलाकर. Beautiful. So the approximate translation is, this last relationship of writing has also now finally broken. How lonely I feel after burning your letters. So that takes care of Maktoob. Moving on to Sitam-Zadaa. Of course, it's a word complex. Sitam is cruelty, injustice, tyranny, any kind of ill treatment. And Zada, usually used as a suffix to some verb, will be describing any kind of affliction or being struck by something, being beaten down by something, right? So Sitam-Zadaa, when put together, is somebody who is oppressed, who is afflicted, who is beaten down by cruelty and tyranny. मीर तकी मीर का ये शेर, हमारे आगे तेरा जब किसू ने नाम लिया, हमारे आगे तेरा जब किसू ने नाम लिया, दिल सितम-ज़दा को हमने थाम थाम लिया. Beautiful couplet. The approximate translation is, whenever in front of me somebody was to take your name, whenever, every time in front of me, when somebody was to take your name, I had to clutch again and again at my oppressed heart, right? At my afflicted heart, which used to respond to your name. अहमद मुश्ताक का ये शेर, दिल सितम-ज़दा क्या है, लहू की बूंद तो है, दिल सितम-ज़दा क्या है, लहू की बूंद तो है, इस एक बूंद को हम बेकरार बनाते हैं. Lovely couplet. Approximate translation is, what is after all an afflicted and oppressed heart? It is but a blood drop or a drop of blood. But then this drop of blood is made shoreless, limitless, bankless by us. And when they say us, the poet is referring to the lover. मीर तकी मीर का ये शेर, पहुँचे हैं हमको इश्क में अज़ार हर तरह, पहुँचे हैं हमको इश्क में अज़ार हर तरह, होते हैं हम सितम-ज़दा बीमार हर तरह. Beautiful couplet. The approximate translation is that in love they have reached us any and every type of disease and ailment. We oppressed, we afflicted ones in love get sick in any and every possible way. That is the type of destiny we have. So that takes care of Sitam-Zadaa. Moving on to Zauq. Zauq translates to a taste for something, a heightened sense of perceiving something, a flavor for something, right? Or sometimes an addiction for something. इस पर पीर नसरुद्दीन शाह नासिर का ये शेर, कभी उनका नाम लेना, कभी उनकी बात करना, मेरा ज़ौक़ उनकी चाहत, मेरा शौक़ उन पे मरना. The approximate translation is, sometimes just to utter her name, sometimes to talk about her. My personal favorite taste or relish is to desire her, and my favorite thing to do is to die for her, give up my life for her. अल्लामा इकबाल का ये शेर, खोली हैं ज़ौक़-ए-दीद ने आँखें तेरी अगर, खोली हैं ज़ौक़-ए-दीद ने आँखें तेरी अगर, हर रह गुज़र में नक्शे कफ़े पाए यार देख. The approximate translation is, if the taste for seeing, if the affinity for seeing, if the knowledge or ability to actually see has opened up your eyes, then in every path, on every road, you should see the etchings, the embellishments of your beloved's feet. Once you can see, right? By extension, once you can see, you should see her everywhere, in everything. अल्लामा इकबाल का ही एक और शेर, जिन्हें तूने बख्शा है ज़ौक़े खुदाई, दो नीम उनकी ठोकर से सहराओ दरिया. The approximate translation is, whoever you have blessed with the taste for godliness, in such people's, I always get stuck at ठोकर, What would ठोकर be in English? Uh, okay, so in such people's footsteps, right? Oh, yes. It might not sound good, but in the kick of such people is the force that can split into two the deserts and the oceans. People who are blessed with the taste for godliness carry such power even in the kick from their toe, right, or from their foot, that they can split into two an entire desert or an entire ocean. Okay, so that takes care of Zauq. Moving on to Khama. Khama is a pen, more precisely pen made out of reed. Mirza Ghalib ka sher. फिर भर रहा हूँ खामाए मिज़गा बखूने दिल साजे चमन तराजिए दामन किए हुए. Approximate translation is, once again I am dipping the pen or the quill tips or the pen tips of my eyelashes into my blood all over again, so that my vest, my coat, right, gets decorated with the shape and form and colors of various flowers. So the visualization, right? Ghalib, like we always say at DGMZ, was the Van Gogh of Urdu poetry. He painted pictures. In this picture, the eyelashes are called a pen, which will get dipped into the ink of blood. So basically the lover has started to cry the tears of blood. And these in turn will create various patterns of shapes and colors and hues on the vest of the lover, because these tears are going to now flow down on the vest, and since they are drenched in blood, you will be able to see various patterns emerging on the vest of the lover. Beautiful visualization. Staying on Khama, Mirza Ghalib का ही एक और शेर. आते हैं गैब से ये मज़ामी ख्याल में गालिब सरीरे खामा नवाए सरोश है. One of our favorite couplets, we quote them so many times here, usually in the metaphysical sense, but today from the pen perspective, right? So in this couplet, Ghalib is saying that to my mind, these ideas, these themes, these concepts seem to come from a hidden universe. Even I am not aware of, right? And trust me when I say to you that the scratching of the pen of Ghalib is equivalent to the voice of angels. I write what angels speak. So that takes care of Khama. Moving on to Farsa. Now Farsa translates to wearing away of something, continuous rubbing of something against something, obliterating something, right? इस पे again मिर्ज़ा गालिब का शेर. मिट जाएगा सर गर तेरा पत्थर ना घिसेगा. मिट जाएगा सर गर तेरा पत्थर ना घिसेगा. हूँ दर पे तेरे नासिया फरसा कोई दिन और. So the approximate translation is, this head of mine will wear off and erase if the stone of your threshold does not wear off and erase. So basically the action is of so basically the visual depiction is of the lover rubbing his forehead on the doorstep of the beloved, or the stone of the doorstep of the beloved. So Ghalib is saying either this head will wear off or the stone will wear off. And if that stone doesn't wear off, then the head will wear off, because I will not stop rubbing my head on the stone of your threshold. Hoon dar pe tere nasiya farsa koi din, or I am going to be continuing to rub my forehead on the stone of your doorstep for a few days more. So that takes care of all the keywords. Let's start getting into the impression. First line, ये जानता हूँ कि तू और पासुख-ए-मकतूब. I know this, that you and an answer to my letter or a response to my letter. Ghalib starts the line with the confirmation, ये जानता हूँ. I know this. That's how he starts the couplet. I know this. Well, know what? Know the dynamic between tu and Paasukh-e-Maktuub. Tu is the beloved, Paasukh-e-Maktuub is the response to the lover's letter. By extension, the lover knows very well the outcome between the beloved and her reply to his letter. So what is this outcome between the beloved and her reply to this lover's letter? Ghalib does not specifically call it out, but the most obvious outcome is that the beloved will not reply to the lover's letter. In this outcome, there is a confirmed no response from the beloved to the lover's letter. And this is something, this outcome is something which is very difficult for the lover to handle, get accustomed to, accommodate, right? This surety, this finality that no matter how many letters I write, there is going to be no response from her. अमीर मिनाई का ये शेर, मेरा खत उसने पढ़ा, पढ़ के नामा बार से कहा, यही जवाब है इसका, कोई जवाब नहीं. So the approximate translation is, she read my letter and then told the messenger who carried my letter to her that this is the response to this letter, that there is no response to this letter. कैफ भोपाली का ये शेर, दिले नादां ना धड़क, ए दिले नादां ना धड़क, कोई खत लेके पड़ोसी के घर आया होगा. The approximate translation is, my innocent heart, do not beat so fast. Oh, my innocent heart, do not beat so fast. The letter that the messenger is carrying is probably for the neighbor's house. It's not meant for you, so stop beating so hard and fast. कमर बदायूं का शेर, नामाबार तू ही बता, नामाबार तू ही बता, तूने तो देखे होंगे कैसे होते हैं वो खत जिनके जवाब आते हैं. Oh, what a heart-wrenching couplet, right? So the approximate translation is, messenger, mailman, you only tell me, because you must have definitely seen some of these. How do those letters look, for which responses come, to which replies come? तू ही बता, तूने तो देखे होंगे कैसे होते हैं वो खत जिनके जवाब आते हैं. दाग दहलवी का ये शेर, क्या क्या फरेब दिल को दिए इज़्तिराब में, क्या क्या फरेब दिल को दिए इज़्तिराब में, उनकी तरफ से आप लिखे खत जवाब में. The helplessness of the lover, right? So the approximate translation is, what all Fareeb, what all tricks I played by myself with my own heart, right? How I tricked my own heart when my anxiety was at its peak. I, in such a state, actually wrote back responses on her behalf to my letter myself. I wrote those responses back to me. What all tricks I played with my heart. Now, that is the first possible outcome where the lover is very sure that there is never going to be a response or reply from the beloved, no matter how many letters he writes to her. Now, in the second outcome, there is hope that the beloved will, in one way or the other, reply to the lover's letter. This relentless, never-ending hope of the lover makes him wait and wait and wait some more for that reply. And this hope is beautifully captured in these couplets from Fani Badayuni. First couplet. ना उम्मीदी मौत से कहती है अपना काम कर, आस कहती है ठहर, खत का जवाब आने को है. Approximate translation is hopelessness orders death to go ahead and do its work. But then hope asks death to wait, because probably the response to my letter is going to come. Second couplet, again by Fani Badayuni. रूह घबराई हुई फिरती है मेरी लाश पर, रूह घबराई हुई फिरती है मेरी लाश पर, क्या जनाजे पर मेरे खत का जवाब आने को है. The approximate translation is my spirit circles my corpse anxiously, right? Circles my corpse anxiously. Is it that the response to my letter is going to be delivered during my funeral procession? And that's why my spirit is just hovering over my dead body so anxiously waiting for it. And then the last one from Fani Badayuni. हाय कैसी कश्मकश है, यास भी है आस भी है, दम निकल जाने को है, खत का जवाब आने को है. The approximate translation is, oh my God, what a predicament it is. I feel hope and I feel hopelessness. Here my life is leaving me, and that is giving me this hopelessness, and there the response to my letter is going to come, and that is giving me hope. So what a predicament I am in, feeling hope and hopelessness at the same moment. Ghalib too captures this hope of the lover very well. In fact, Ghalib's hope almost borders on confidence in this couplet of his. कासिद के आते आते खत एक और लिख रखूं, मैं जानता हूं जो वो लिखेंगे जवाब में. So, like we say at DGMZ, right? The lover knows the blueprint of the beloved. What she's going to do, what she's not going to do. And Ghalib, definitely, thanks to Ghalib, we come up with this this fact, right, that the lover knows the blueprint of the beloved. आज के भी couplet में, right, मैं जानता हूँ, right, the couplet starts like that, ये जानता हूँ, correct. So in this couplet, कासिद के आते आते खत एक और लिख रखूँ, मैं जानता हूँ जो वो लिखेंगे जवाब में, it approximately translates to, by the time the messenger comes back with her reply, let me write the next letter already, because I know what she is going to put in her reply, what she is going to put in her response. Now, this response from the beloved need not necessarily be what the lover wishes for, right? दाग दहलवी का ये शेर, जिस खत पे ये लगाई उसी का मिला जवाब, एक मोहर मेरे पास है दुश्मन के नाम की. The approximate translation is, on the letters where I placed it, those were the letters where I received a response from her. The seal that I had of the rival. Whichever letter I placed it on, she replied to those letters only. Interestingly, the response from the beloved might not come as a message, but as a part of the messenger. Back in those days, the messenger was an integral part of the message. Such was the close, intimate dynamic between the message and the messenger. आज की भी कितने सारे शेरों में नामाबार is part of the whole scene, so to speak, right? Now, the messenger plays a critical role both at the lover's end and at the beloved's end. At the lover's end, the lover puts a lot of hope and expectation in the messenger with reference to the letter he is going to send to the beloved. हकीर का ये शेर, या उससे जवाब खत लाना, या उससे जवाब खत लाना, या कासिद इतना कह देना, बचने का नहीं बीमार तेरा, इरशाद अगर कुछ भी ना हुआ. So the approximate translation is, either get me a response to my letter, or messenger, tell this to her, that her love-sick lover is not going to live or survive unless she says something, unless she writes something, unless she gives some response. Now the beloved also at her end will put the responsibility on the messenger to ensure that her response is delivered to the lover. मोमिन खान मोमिन का ये शेर, क्या जाने क्या लिखा था उसे इज़्तिराब में, क्या जाने क्या लिखा था उसे इज़्तिराब में, कासिद की लाश आई है खत के जवाब में. So the approximate translation is, I'm not sure what I wrote to her in my state of anxiety, but in response to my letter, what she has sent me is the corpse of the messenger. She killed the messenger. She killed the messenger, and that is what she has sent to me in response. वलीउल्लाह मुहीब का ये शेर, खत का ये जवाब आया कि कासिद गया जी से, सर एक तरफ लोटे है और एक तरफ धड़. Approximate translation is, this is the response of my letter that came from her, that the messenger lost his life. On one end was his head, and on the other end was his torso lying dead. This was the response from the beloved. Just a very hyperbolic way of capturing the intense anger, the intense negativity the beloved feels towards the love letter from the lover. So, ये जानता हूँ कि तू और पासुख-ए-मकतूब, whether it is the first outcome where there is a confirmed no response from the beloved, or whether it is the second outcome where there is hope of a response. In this first line, what Ghalib is confirming is that the lover is well aware. The lover knows what is going to be the beloved's action in terms of responding to the lover's letter. And knowing this outcome, knowing this action or reaction for that matter, prepares the lover for it. ये जानता हूँ कि तू और पासुख-ए-मकतूब. Straightforward, we could say the Ghalib is saying that you and a reply to my letter, never, I know that, never it is going to happen. But I do think that the fact that he does not clearly call out never, he just says, I know you and a response to my letter, kind of creates a room for both the options. Moving on to the second line. मगर सितम-ज़दा हूँ ज़ौक़-ए-Khaama-Farsaa का. But I am oppressed by my taste for, by my addiction for wearing of the pen. Sitam-Zadaa is an interesting way to begin this second line. It translates to someone who is oppressed or forced into submission, which is Zada, by cruelty and tyranny, which is Sitam. In true Mushaira style, if the Shayar paused at Magar Sitam-Zada hu, as the audience we would already start thinking and guessing, what is this phrase Sitam-Zadaa about? And our first and strongest guess would be that it should be connected to the beloved in some way. Who else could fit the bill so well of oppressing the lover with cruelty and tyranny other than the beloved? So, ट्रू मुशायरा स्टाइल में शायर ने बोला, मगर सितम-ज़दा हूँ. एंड एकदम से आपको ख्याल आए, हाँ भाई सितम-ज़दा तो ये तो बिलवेड का ही काम हो सकता है, राइट? एंड देन Ghalib the Shire would complete the second half of the second line to go on and say Zauq-e-Khaama-Farsaa ka. And the audience would go, ooh. Right? Sitam-Zadaa of Zauq-e-Khaama-Farsaa. What a lovely twist, right? What an endearing thought. Almost seems Ghalib is saying, beloved, yes, you probably are one of the biggest oppressors and tyrants I suffer under as a lover. But beloved, even bigger than you is another oppressor, is another cruel tyrant that makes me suffer. And that, my dear beloved, is my own desire, my own zauq. Zauq, relish, taste, desire, flavor for something, addiction for something, right? Ghalib uses this second part of the second line to describe how there is no impact on the lover's desire to write, and especially write to the beloved. Whether the beloved replies, whether the beloved makes them wait for a reply, doesn't matter. That endearing nature of the lover that makes him hopelessly and helplessly fall in love with the beloved, irrespective whether the beloved reciprocates or not, is the same nature that reflects in the lover's desire, zauq, to connect to the beloved and specifically connect to the beloved through his love letters. महबूब मशमीरी का ये शेर, जो कुछ सोचा, जो कुछ लिखा तेरे नाम, मेरी जीस्त का लम्हा लम्हा तेरे नाम. Whatever I thought, whatever I know, whatever I thought, whatever I wrote was pledged to your name. Every moment, every single moment by moment of my life is pledged to your name. And of course, Ghalib also captures this desire to write to the beloved in his own unique style. उनका ये शेर, खत लिखेंगे गरचे मतलब कुछ ना हो, हम तो आशिक हैं तुम्हारे नाम के. The approximate translation is, I will write, even if I have nothing to write, even if I have no reason to write, because after all, I am in love with your name itself. So the moment I start writing your name, right, my dear so-and-so, that itself is enough of a reason for me to write to you. I don't care if I have nothing to say to you. I don't care if I have an actual valid thing to write about, because I am just so in love with your name. Not only does Ghalib capture the lover's desire to write letters to the beloved, but Ghalib simultaneously captures the lover's desire to write, period. And this is where Ghalib masterfully brings together the lover and the poet in this second line, showing how one influences the other. For a lover who is a poet, and for a poet who is a lover, what better way to express other than writing? For a person like this, there would never be a shortage of emotions, and there would never be a shortage of words to express those emotions. At DGMZ, we think this is a deadly combo. There is no escaping the impact of this combo. बशीर बद्र का ये शेर, खत ऐसा लिखा है कि नगीने से जड़े हैं. खत ऐसा लिखा है कि नगीने से जड़े हैं, वो हाथ की जिसने कोई जेवर नहीं देखा. The approximate translation is, the letter that I have crafted, it seems as if it is bejeweled. Every word is a jewel. And the hand that has written this letter is the hand that has never seen any ornament. By extension, this poet doesn't even know what ornaments and jewels look like. But when you read the letter, it is a bejeweled letter. Every word is a precious gemstone. शकील बदायूं का ये शेर, भेज दी तस्वीर अपनी उनको ये लिख कर शकील, भेज दी तस्वीर अपनी उनको ये लिख कर शकील, आपकी मर्जी है चाहे जिस नज़र से देखिए. The approximate translation is, I put a picture of mine in the letter and just sent it off to her with a note saying, it is up to you how you want to perceive me. Style, right? Now this style of expression can only come with that deadly combo where the heart is overflowing with the emotion of love and the talent is overflowing with the expertise, right, of finesse of a poet, of a writer. Now, in the second line, we encountered Khama-Farsaa. We are encountering this word phrase for the first time at DGMC, and we thought that we should spend a few minutes on it since it is used many times in Urdu poetry and in fact captures the essence of the writer, the poet, the shayer, and plays a pivotal role in our today's couplet, right? So as we covered in the keywords, Khama is a pen, more specifically a pen made out of reed, which is a tall grass-like plant growing in wetlands. The reed pen was invented in ancient Egypt around 3000 BC. Egyptians used hollowed-out reed like bamboo to create a writing tool that would then be dipped in ink and used on papyrus. This invention marked a significant step in the development of writing instruments and allowed for more efficient record keeping and communication. Reed pens are stiffer than the quill pens, which are cut from feathers. Reed pen is characteristically able to make bold strokes and still remains an important tool in arts like calligraphy. Reed pens can characteristically make very bold strokes and even today remain an important tool in calligraphy. Artists like Vincent van Gogh, and we mention him again and again, right? We call Ghalib the Van Gogh of Urdu poetry. Van Gogh used the strong stroke and accent of reed pen, combining it with brown ink and graphite to create drawings of a different style. So that is Khama, about the pen. Moving on to Farsa. Farsa is wearing away of something, rubbing continuously of something against something, obliterating something, worn out, something that is worn out. Now, when Khama is joined with Farsa, what it means is that pen is joined with wearing down, rubbing, moving. It's a unique word phrase. Khama-Farsaa is a unique word phrase that captures the continuous moving, the continuous wearing down of a pen. By extension, continuous writing, continuous compiling, which is the hallmark of any writer, any poet, any shayer. The pen of a writer, a poet, a shayer never stops. It keeps moving. It keeps wearing off and in turn it keeps creating, compiling and writing. This is the exact sentiment, this is the exact jazba that Ghalib captures in these three words, Zauq-e-Khaama-Farsaa. The desire, the habit, the relish, the addiction, the flavor of continuously moving my pen or wearing off my pen. In the second line, it almost seems that Ghalib is saying that, beloved, if I could stop the lover from writing to you, then the shair or the poet in me would start oppressing me. Sitam-Zadaa would start oppressing me till I write to you. And if I could stop the shair or the poet in me to write to you, then the lover inside me would start oppressing me till I write to you. The short of the long story is, beloved, I have to write. I have to write continuously. मिर्ज़ा गालिब का शेर, दर्द दिल लिखूं कब तक, जाऊं उनको दिखला दूं, उंगलियां फिगार अपनी, खामा खूं चका अपना. So the approximate translation is, how long can I keep writing about this pain in my heart? I should rather go ahead, go to her and show it to her. The bloodied pen of mine and the wounded, splintered, torn fingers of mine. Right? The pens in the olden time were not cushion grip. Right? These were natural materials. Most of them were coarse materials. Right? There was this continuous dipping the pen and bringing it out from the ink pot. Right? The physical toll they took on your fingers was too much as compared to the comfort pens we are used to today. And that is what Ghalib is capturing here. The bloodied pen of mine, right? And the torn, wounded fingers of mine by this continuous writing. So Ghalib says, I should actually just stop writing and just go and show her. This is the state of my pen. This is the state of my fingers. Can you make out the state of my heart from it? Can you make out the state of my heart from it? And then this couplet from Hijab Abbasi, beautiful couplet. Rahe jab tak ye binai salamat, hamari Gham-e-Firaaq salamat. Approximate translation is, till the time this wisdom, this vision, this intelligence is intact in me, till that time the writing, the act of writing, the act of creating, the act of compiling also stays intact in me. If I know it, I have to write it. As long as I know it, I continue to write it. So, once again, in this couplet, we see Ghalib bring out an aspect of the lover's love for the beloved in a unique manner. The format of I know yet, right? Ye jaanta hoon. And then second line starts with Magar, yet. So I know something, but yet, despite knowing that, I go ahead and do something that is in opposition to it. I know has been captured in the first line, and the yet is captured in the second line. I know you're not going to respond, or I know you're going to delay the response, beloved, but yet I am oppressed by my desire. I am forced by my desire. I am subdued. I am forced into submission by my desire to continue writing. Continue writing. We will end today's DGMZ impression of this couplet with a Ghalib शेर. था तो खत पर ना था जवाब तलब, कोई उसका जवाब क्या लिखता. And if you are a DGMZ viewer, you know that we always highlight the way Ghalib saves the beloved, right? He does not let direct blame come on the beloved. So this is that good save Ghalib, good save, right? Kind of a couplet. The approximate translation is, yes, there was a letter, but the letter never sought a response. The theme of the letter never sought a response. Then how could someone respond to it? The letter gave no room. The letter did not create any room for a response, and hence she did not respond to it. So yes, a letter was sent to her, and no, a response did not come, but that is understandable because the letter to begin with never asked for a response. Alright, so that brings us to the end of ये जानता हूँ कि तू और पासुख-ए-मकतूब मगर सितम-ज़दा हूँ ज़ौक़-ए-खामा-फ़रसा का. Now, today we wanted to end our episode with the lyrics of a song which we thought was just so beautiful and, of course, vibes with the essence of our today's couplet. So, this song, the lyricist is Anand Bakshi. The composer is R.D. Burman. The singer is Lata Mangeshkar. The song is from the movie Shakti from 1982. Shakti went on to win the 83 Filmfare Awards for Best Film, Best Actor for Dilip Kumar, Best Screenplay and Best Sound Design. So, this is how the lyrics go. हमें बस ये पता है वो, हमें बस ये पता है वो बहुत ही खूबसूरत है. लिफाफे के लिए लेकिन पते की भी ज़रूरत है. हमने सनम को खत लिखा, खत में लिखा, ए दिलरुबा दिल की गली शहरे वफा. पहुँचे ये खत जाने कहाँ, जाने बने क्या दास्तां. उस पर रकीबों का ये डर, लग जाए उनके हाथ गर. कितना बुरा अंजाम हो, दिल मुफ्त में बदनाम हो. ऐसा ना हो, ऐसा ना हो, अपने खुदा से रात दिन मांगा किए हम ये दुआ. हमने सनम को खत लिखा, खत में लिखा, ए दिलरुबा दिल की गली शहरे वफा. पीपल का ये पत्ता नहीं, कागज का ये टुकड़ा नहीं, इस दिल का ये अरमान है, इसमें हमारी जान है. ऐसा गजब हो जाए ना, रास्ते में ये खो जाए ना. हमने बड़ी ताकीद की, डाला इसे जब डाक में, ये डाक बाबू से कहा. हमने सनम को खत लिखा, खत में लिखा, ए दिलरुबा दिल की गली शहरे वफा. परसों जवाबे यार का देखा किए हम रास्ता. एक दिन वो खत वापस मिला और डाकिए ने ये कहा, इस डाक खाने में नहीं, सारे ज़माने में नहीं, कोई सनम इस नाम का, कोई गली इस नाम की, कोई शहर इस नाम का. हमने सनम को खत लिखा, खत में लिखा, ए दिलरुबा दिल की गली शहरे वफा. So, that brings us to the end of today's episode. We sincerely hope you enjoyed it. As always, we'll be very keen to listen to your comments and feedback. And now, for the new viewers, a very strong recommendation to access the episode Introduction to DGMC, because that will give you a good insight into the motivation and inspiration behind this podcast. For our regular viewers, whenever you have time, go surf the homepage of the channel. We have multiple playlists there, segregated by topics, ghazals, etc. Surf through them and pick an episode that interests you. Now, as always, I am going to go ahead and end this episode by sending a lot of love and light to all you dear viewers, and thanks for watching.